Alright, I wanted to make a quick follow-up, just in case you're still having issues dealing with pirates. Now, I got quite lucky and was able to pacify my um, two minor factions and get their ships over here. But let's say you didn't have these. So let's just send these out. Let's pretend that these didn't exist. Let's sell them. Let's pretend they didn't exist. Let's go design some new ships. Now, what I've gone ahead and done is I've gone ahead and researched the efficient shielding ships, which is the next level of ships, and focused plasma and autonomous construction. Now, what these do is you don't actually need to get the new ships. In fact, I can go ahead and show how to use it without the new ships. What you want from these is this, the titanium A2S slugs, and the mobile energy weapons. Now, what these do is this increases the amount of sieging that your ships do, and this unlocks tanks, which are extremely useful against pirates. Now, what you'll notice is when I was orbiting these guys, they had this symbol here. That showed their fortification defense. Basically, what titanium A2S slugs do is they they increase the amount of damage due. One, it does 7 damage. So let's put these on some ships. So what I like to do is create a new ship, usually of your, let's find it, cargo. Here it is, the Settler. Now, some factions can do this better than others. Let's see how good these guys are. They're alright. They can put 2 modules on here. So you give it an engine, you give it to titanium A2S, and you could put a weapon on it. Now, because this is the United Empire, let's go ahead and do so. Put a weapon on it. Let's call this. There we go. Perfect. Actually, let's give this missiles and make it maximum damage against pirates. And because this system right here is right next to it and it's free, let's go ahead and make some fuck pirates. Let's make 4 of them. And while we're on the topic of ships and new designs, I'm going to go over some other quick designs you can do. So one thing that you want to do early on when you go into war is you're going to want to get this tech here, which is efficient shielding as fast as you can. Now this is for a number of reasons. This is because of the capacities that the attackers and protector ships have. If you take a look at the patrol, which is just an explorer, all it does is it gets extra speed. What the Corvette does as an offensive ship, not only does it give bonus weapons, but its role as an attacker means that it will prioritize the defensive ships, but it will focus fire with other ships in its flotilla. And I will show you what that means in a second. Now, as an attacker, you typically want to build these ships to be full damage. So let's just put some missiles on here, for example. And another thing that's important is this tech, kinetic enhancement. But because you can't put speed on this one, I'm going to go ahead and ignore it right now. It's more important to have speed, especially in the early game. And then we can take a look at the Guardian. Let's give it some stuff. That should be good. So essentially what you want to do is have a mixed fleet of about 6 Guardians and 8 attackers. This is, you can have 2 Guardians per flotilla. What a flotilla is with the battle tactics. Each one of these is a flotilla and what range they start at. So when you're in a battle, what you're going to have to look at is what range your ship's at. For example, we have designed this attacker to be a long-range attacker. As you can see from the ranges, it says max range, max damage at 100% range, which means we're going to want to be using the powered shields battle tactic, which will put our ships in these 2 flotillas. It is optimal to go for more damage, while splitting your fleet up between multiple flotillas will give you an attack bonus if you have more flotillas in the enemy fleet. If they're going to do much reduced damage, sometimes it's not worth it to do so. So let's go ahead and pick attack. Let's go ahead and do this. Okay, another one, another fuck pirates. Let's keep going. And as you can see, even with all these systems, there's really not all that much that I have to do. Here we go, another colony. Go ahead and build this right away. As you can see, I'm taking full advantage of being able to build this in one turn. That gives you 60 production. That doubles the productivity of these systems. That gets them up and able faster than anything. Getting lucky with which resource is this again? Jadonics. It's extremely powerful. Other good early game ones are Jadonics, the food one, the dust one, the science one. I mean, they're all good, but I think Jadonics is the best one. Science can also be extremely good if you're playing the Nakalim, for example. Oops. Alright, and then one more turn, and we'll have all of our fuck pirates. And as you can see, the pirate base just spawned some more. Let's go ahead and make some more just in case. And next turn. Oh, and there they go. Fuck the pirates. Alright, let's send them over. And so, let's see. Now they're doing 64. Now I had 4 ships there that were orbiting, and they were only doing about 8 fortification damage. Now we have 4 of these fuck pirate ships, and they have even more. And other factions can be even more effective. For example, the United Empire only has 2 of these slots here. A more ideal function would be, for example, other ships have 4 utility slots. For example, the Vojani Leecher can have 4 slots that are open. I just put an engine and then 3 of these on there, and you can get even more effectiveness. And just pair these types of ships without weapons with, you could pair them with some escorts or with some other types of ships. Let's see. We'll go ahead and make some ships here. Again, I'm going to make 6 of these. Make 8 of those. Let's see if I can get this pirate to come fight me. I think that's him, or that's one of my transport vessels. There they are, they're down there. But this is quite a nice little pirate fleet, anti-pirate fleet. This is on turn 48. But as you can see, they have an immense amount of defense. So we're going to keep pumping these ships out. We don't actually need them, but just for the purpose of demonstration. Another thing you can do is you can switch your whole defensive fleet to be all armor. And here we go. We got our battle. So let's go ahead and put these guys at max range, and let's go into the advanced battle strategy so I can show you what's up. So we've picked power to shields. Now, early on, you only have access to 2 of the flotillas here, which are going to be the top and middle one. So using power to shields is not exactly the most effective, which is why I usually don't go for this missile strategy early on. What you'd probably want to do is just put all your ships here in one, so that they're all main. But having them in separate flotillas will give them bonus attack, which I'll show you by just putting 1 there. So these are the different flotillas. They go down this line, and this is actually how the ships are angled. So let's go ahead and watch this, and I'll give you some a basic rundown of exactly what's going on here, and what you should do when watching your battles. So this is just a typical camera. It's really not that useful for seeing what's going on. So what I usually like to do is you can look at overview camera and see what's going on. But I usually like to go into free camera and press spacebar. Then you can see the health bar of your ships. And then you can watch them shoot. So because they're not attackers, they're all going to be targeting randomly, but they only have 1 ship. So there they go. And they pretty much one-shot that thing. As you can see, the pirate ships early on are extremely weak. Extremely weak. Even a colonizer ship can fight them. There we go. And next turn, we'll go ahead and invade. Alright. Now that we've gotten our defense fairly low, let's go ahead and do a ground invasion. Now, ground invasion is based off of how much manpower you have. So these colonizers have about 200 manpower. But because they're tanks, they're going to be exceptionally effective. So let's go ahead and do a preemptive bombing here. Let's keep going. And, my god, so much pop-ups. And as this thing's going, it's going to keep lowering their defense. Until eventually we will win. As you can see, we're winning. Even with like 10 tanks, we can still win. And we have more troops over here as well. And let's go ahead and finish them off. If you want to watch one real quick, it's really nothing interesting. It's pretty basic. That's the preemptive bombing going on. Pretty much restores their entire troops. They only had 2% left anyways, so that's it. And now they're pushed out. And that's pretty much how you deal with pirates. You should have them all mostly killed, especially out of your starting constellation, by about turn 40 to turn 60. Sometimes it might take longer. Yeah, pretty much. Trash game anyways. Anyways, thanks for watching. Hopefully this helped you deal with pirates.